רוב הכסף שקיים בכדור הארץ נמצא בנדל"ן. כאן נפתח את מאחורי הקלעים והשיטות להצלחה בתחום ישירות מהכוכבים. ברוכים הבאים לנדל"ן עם כוכבים. אני לנה כהן, תישארו עד הסוף כדי לשמוע על ההטבות. בואו נתחיל. Today we have a very special guest, and this is the reason why I'm speaking in English. The legendary Robert Shemin here with us today. Robert came to Israel for a few days to speak in his seminars, and I'm lucky to have a bit of his precious time to host him here today. It's a huge honor. Thank you so much for coming.
Bavakasha, toda. Thank you for having me, and congratulations on your new podcast and all the listeners. We're going to have a great time tonight, wherever it is, and it's an honor for me to be here. Toda, thank you.
Thank you so much. My plan for today is to steal a bit of the secrets behind your amazing success. So let's do it.
Yalla.
So your journey in real estate has been incredibly impactful for many people. What made you first into real estate? How did you start it?
So it's a very good question, and it's very interesting. I'm one of the few people that got into real estate, and I didn't want to be in real estate. I had no interest in it. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. I was not doing well. I was working in restaurants, trying to sell insurance. We can only work with very successful people. And it's funny because a lot of people come to my seminars and they want to be in real estate and they're thinking too much. You know, what about this? What about that? And I tell people I had a big advantage because when you're not interested in something, you're open. You don't care. You're not thinking, analyzing so much. You know, right now everyone's listening going, what is Robert? He's American, maybe this. I don't know about that. So I met this guy. He was supposed to be worth millions of dollars. He looked like a homeless guy. His name was Ray Binion. And I went to his office and I was trying to sell him some insurance, which I never sold. And I left. Like I thought he was broke. I was brought up that rich people are rich. We're not that rich.
You were selling insurances and you just came to some potential clients.
Yeah, I was referred to him. He's supposed to be worth all this money. We can only work with people that had millions of dollars. And he had a very humble office. He was very humble, very plain. And I'm thinking, had a bad attitude. I was a little judgmental. I'm hopefully not that way anymore. And I said, oh, this guy's broke. His office is dirty. He has no computer. And I left. Like, there's no insurance here. There's no business for me. And I forgot to fill my form out. So I drove back and I bang on the door and he comes back. And this moment changed my life. I believe your life can change in one moment when you meet the right people. One of my partners, Gilad, says you're always one relationship away from starting a great business, from maybe making a big deal, making a lot of success, perhaps. Also, you can make failure if you don't do it right. And I went back. He said, Robert, I thought you left. I said, I forgot to ask you, what do you do for a living? And he said, come here. I want to show you something. I do real estate investing. And he had a little bit of an attitude, because I was kind of negative. And he said, I'm not smart like you. I had a suit on, even though I was broke, had no money, no credit to speak of. And he said, about 20 years ago, now this is 1994. He's speaking about 1974. He said, I had no money. I started, my neighbor had a house to sell. I took it over with special owner financing. I didn't really know what I was doing. I bought it. We tried to fix it. We tried to sell it. We didn't make any money. We failed. I had a full-time job. I said, well, if I would have failed, I would have quit. He goes, well, I'm not a quitter. He said he bought another house. He tried to fix it up and rent it or sell it. He didn't do very well. And I said, well, the second one didn't go well. He goes, I would have quit. He said, well, we did a third one. It took about a year. The third one, we made some money. He said, then we figured out a system, how to buy them, how to fix them, how to rent them, how to sell them. And he goes, from then on, I just did copy, repeat. And he showed me, I didn't believe me, he had an accounting book. He didn't have a computer. He had, I think, over 100 houses that he was renting and that he'd fixed. And I'm like, wait a minute. And he took 6 months vacation a year. And I was brought up, you have to work hard, suffer. And I'm like, wait a minute. If this guy can do this with no background, no education, I'm interested. I said, show me how to do it. And he had a little program. He charged me a bunch of money, and I borrowed it from somebody. I didn't have any money. He taught me how to do it. And this is very important. Everybody's different. Everyone does it differently. My example may not be your example. Is the first year I'm in his program, I'm still working, and I made no offers. I didn't do anything he said. I fought him, argued with him, and I made no money. Then after a year, I was in worse shape, more debt, more stress. And I had a moment. I said, maybe I should stop arguing with him. Maybe I should stop thinking, analyzing. Maybe I should just do what he says. And I started doing what he said, following the system. and I got my first property very quickly with a money partner. My goal, and everyone should set a goal, whatever your goal is, I want to do nothing, I want to do something, I want to do a lot. He said something very important the first day. He said, I won't work with anyone that doesn't at least make a 5-year commitment for any business. Now, most people like me were part-time. He said, you have to write down 5 years. So my goal was get one property a year for 5 years. When I finally got started, remember, I did nothing the first year. That was my fault. I got, I think, 11. I'm going off memory. I think I had about 11 properties the first 10 months. And it was amazing. And I tell people, whatever you want to do, if you want to do it, it's not for everybody. Everybody's different. Every deal's different. Is get started. Because you won't believe it until you do it.
Wow. Do you think the 5 years rule is still relevant today? Because today everything is much faster. People don't commit to even a job for 5 years. They're doing it in 1 year and then they need to switch.
I'm not perfect, but every speech I do, I tell people, my mentor made a 5-year commitment. You need at least 5 years because I think it's more true than anything. And people have to commit, and most people won't. And I tell people, if you say, listen, I'm going to commit for 5 years and really work at it. Most people are part-time. They have other jobs, families. But imagine if you say, I'm going to commit to something and I'm not going to quit until I'm successful. What do you think your success rate would be? If you say, maybe it takes a year, maybe 3 years, maybe 8 years, but I'm not going to quit. Whatever it is, real estate, I want to learn to play the guitar, I want to start an online business. I'm not going to quit until I'm successful. What do you think the success rate would be?
Yeah, the commitment is powerful.
And let me be very straight. Most people in real estate business do nothing, make nothing, think about it. They tried for a month or 2 or 3, network marketing, online, and they quit. And they didn't stay long enough to be successful. That's one of the biggest problems.
So can you give an example for a lesson you have learned in the beginning of your career that still shapes how you take decisions today?
So most people, including me, we have a big ego. I'm a guy. I have an ego. I want to be right, correct? I'm a guy. Most of the women listening will understand that. Maybe some of the men won't. And I call ego easing God out. I know everything. I'm smart. So what keeps you from being successful? Themselves, me. So I'm sitting with a very successful real estate investor, my mentor, Mr. Binion, the first one, and he's telling me what to do, and I'm arguing with him. And then I'm leaving him and going with my friends and family who said, listen, real estate doesn't work. It's too dangerous. The economy's bad. Inflation's bad. I've been hearing that every day almost since I started in real estate. Then I'm listening to myself. It won't work. I don't have the money. I can't do it. It's a bad time. I'm going to fail. And I tell people, who are you listening to? So it's Israel. Let me talk about a disaster that I learned from. Is that okay?
Sure.
Because in Israel, we have to talk about disasters. I love it. Right? I'm a nice Jewish boy from Tennessee. We got to talk about the bad. So, number one, that's the biggest problem. I'm listening to myself. People say, well, you can't find a deal. No one will sell me a deal below market. I'm like, where does that idea come from? Or they're going to rip me off or steal. Where is that idea coming from? From myself. It's made up. It's imaginary. All fears are irrational. So for the first year, I did nothing. Most people don't. Because I'm scared. Then I finally started doing something, even though my mother, father, brother, friends said, you're going to fail, don't do it, even though they'd never done it. So here it is, the big lesson. Who are you listening to? Whatever business you're in, listen to an expert. Listen, when you go to the doctor, hopefully you get a referral. You go to a good doctor, and the doctor says, take these pill, take this shot, maybe you need this surgery, unfortunately. Revitol. And you don't go, wait a minute. The doctor's a liar, a cheater. You believe him or her. Why? Because they're supposed to be an expert, and hopefully they are. They're a very good doctor. So when you want to do real estate or whatever business, find someone who's doing it. Find someone who's had success and only listen to them. 80-90% of the stuff, in my opinion, on the internet, it's a great tool. There's a lot of great stuff out there, is incorrect. The market's bad, don't do it. And ask the people, how much real estate have you done? Nothing, but don't do it. The market's bad. And let me give you an example. I made a big mistake, big disaster. About 3 years into real estate, my mentor said, and in our program, Project X, we say, don't sign a contract without your mentor looking at it, get a second opinion, triple check everything. We have a system for everything. On the repairs, get 3 contractors to get a bid because the first one, even though they're referred, until you're comfortable. So after a couple of years, My ego grew. I'm like, I'm a real estate expert. And I stopped following the system of checklists. So a friend of mine who'd sold me some property before, I won't mention his name, Hal, in Nashville, said, Robert, I have 5 duplexes. I said, what are they worth? He goes, that day, I'm going off memory, they're worth $75,000. What can I buy them for? $35,000. They need some work, about 5, maybe 8,000 each. That's like 40, 45,000. They're worth 75 or 80 fixed up. Great deal. They cash flow. They rent really well. The repairs aren't so much. And I believed him. I didn't check with the other realtors. I didn't check with the manager. I didn't check with the other contractors. I went and looked at it myself. I'm not a repair expert. I didn't check with my mentor. My mentor said, don't do a deal without checking with me. I'm smart. I bought him. I had a money partner. He borrowed the money. I bought him. And after I bought him, I did what a lot of investors do. Big mistake. I went and inspected them. They weren't worth $75,000. They were worth $30,000. Less than what I paid for. The repairs weren't $5,000 or $8,000. They were $20,000 and $30,000. Mm-hmm. I was 33 years old at the time. I cried. I said, I'm going to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars. I made a horrible mistake. I'm finished. And I was so much ego, I didn't call my mentor to ask for help. That's lesson number 2. Ask for help. Most people will help. Not everyone. I called my mentor. Nashville's a big, small town, kind of like Israel. Everybody knows everybody. I said, hey, I need your help. He goes, I know. I know you bought those duplexes. You didn't call me. Why didn't you call me? I'm your mentor. I said, well, I thought it was. He goes, no, you don't. Get a second opinion. You're a person. You make a mistake. And he said to me, I'll never forget, he said, Robert, you're going to suffer. I said, good. I'm a nice Jewish boy. We're used to suffering. He goes, you made mistakes. You didn't check. You didn't follow the system. You didn't ask for help. You got into the ego. But he goes, you're going to be okay. I said, no, I'm not. I might have made a horrible deal. It's a disaster. He goes, time will fix any mistake you make in real estate. This is what he said. I said, what do you mean? He goes, it could be a year, could be 3 years, could be 7, 10 years. The market will go up. You're going to rent them. You're going to be okay. You'll fix them. I said, I don't have the money to fix them. He said, do one thing at a time. Fix the first one. Rent it. Get some money coming in. Get the money coming in, revenue. Then fix the second one. I said, this is horrible. I fixed them. I had to find the money. It was a nightmare, a disaster. I was losing money from the other ones. I did fix them and did rent them. Well, what happened was amazing. When I fixed those 5 duplexes, the neighbors started fixing their property, making them better. All of a sudden, the market went up. Now, this is an example. It may not happen in your area. And all of a sudden, they went to $50,000, $80,000. And I believe, I'm going off memory, I sold them, I think, for $120,000, $140,000 about 3 or 4 years later. We made money. We paid everybody off. The rents went up. Now they're worth, I think, $350,000, $400,000. So what's the example? Why did I make that mistake? I believed in myself. I listened to myself. I didn't get advice. I'm a person. I make mistakes. So to this day, I will not sign a contract without my mentor looking at it. I won't do a deal without getting absolutely. Doing a deal right now.
Is this the same mentor?
Well, unfortunately, he passed away 7 years ago. By the way, I paid him first time in 1993 or 4, I don't remember. I had to borrow money, a lot of money, to be my mentor. And he never charged me again, and he helped me till he passed away. We talked almost every couple weeks, sometimes a lot. He always gave me great advice until he passed. That's what we do with Project X. You're in for life. It's a community for life. You join us once, we're together forever, because based on what he did with me. So now I have other mentors. I just put a deal under contract with an inspection period, and before I signed it, I went to a friend of mine who's done hundreds of deals and said, what do you think? Here are my numbers. Let's double check. Let's triple check. And he actually said to check on one thing. We checked, and it was okay. I'm a person. You're a person. What's your system in business or real estate? And I make errors, of course, is to not make what I call fatal bad mistake. We need experts. So please, whoever you talk to, whether it's us, somebody else, get a mentor, get an expert. Now, your team is an expert. So I have a title lawyer who's an expert. The lenders are experts. They know investing. They know the market. The contractor should be an expert. They've been working for 5, 10 years in that area. So I hope that helps people. You don't have to do everything by yourself. And even though I've been doing this for years and teach it, I always get a second, third opinion to make sure I'm not making a mistake.
So this is an important advice. But at some point of your career, you did reach the place when you thought, okay, I made it. Now I'm the big deal. I achieved the success. When did that happen?
So I'll tell you a funny story, and thank you for asking. I've told this before. So I was not really that smart, and I'll never forget. Most boys, men, want to impress their fathers. My dad said, "Don't do real estate; it's too dangerous. Get a job." And after 3 or 4 years, I went to my dad and said, "Dad, I'm a millionaire." That was, a second or third goal of mine to do well. He goes, "What do you mean you're a millionaire?" I said, "My money partners and I, because I always work with other people, have money partners because I didn't have credit, so I couldn't borrow the money. My mentor taught me, whatever you don't have, find someone that has it. So I had no money or credit. So I found the deal. I'd show people, ask their opinion, and some people would go get the money, whether it was their money or bank loan. I said, "Dad, I owe $1 million. I have $1 million of debt, mortgages, loans on my property. I'm a millionaire." He said, "No, you're not, dummy. You owe $1 million. Now, the real estate was worth more, of course, right? They only would loan me 50, 60, 70%. Every lender's different. Every deal's different. And he goes, "You're not a millionaire. You owe $1 million. And I went, "Oh." I thought I was successful. But at some point, I can't remember, it was 3 or 4 years into it, I looked at it. My goal is to get one property a year for the first 5 years, maybe go in for 15 years. And after 3 or 4 years, I can't remember, I had like 40, 50 properties. And one day I go, "How did this happen?" The rents are coming in. The properties are worth more. I had a team. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. But it's funny, when you're successful, whatever that means, you don't feel successful. Whatever level you're at, you're always trying to get to the next level. So very rarely do I feel successful. I feel like I'm just getting started. I feel like we start over every day. Everybody has ups and downs. So I've never really felt successful, so to speak. I'm grateful. And I've done a lot of real estate and properties and spoken to a lot of people. But there are moments where it happens. I did seminars with Kiyosaki and Trump and Tony Robbins to 30 to 50,000 people. And every once in a while I look at the audience and go, wow, how did this happen? Or I'm here in Israel with a group of amazing partners and mentors. We have, I think, almost 20 mentors and 3,000 plus successful students who are, in the program doing a lot of deals in the United States. And we started with 8 people. I came here once and I look and I go, wow, this is amazing. My level of success, I judge by how many people I help, how much tzedakah, charity I'm doing. And that's changed. Your goals and success will change.
Yeah, you achieved financial freedom and you helped many other people to achieve it.
Yep.
So how do you define success today and how did it change throughout the years?
So first of all, I define my success by new challenges. I've retired 3 times. And I keep going back to work. So now I'm more excited than ever. What's the next challenge? I'm doing more deals, more business. I'm going to do more speaking, more books. And what I'm really most excited about is with a group of entrepreneurs in Medellin. I do a lot of charity work and also here in Israel. And we said, let's really step it up. And if you have money, you can donate money. Of course, I know a lot of people in Israel are doing that. We did that with Project X, with the army and the helping and the food and materials and helmets and all that. And my goal the next 6 months till the end of the year is we have this massive charity we want to do for children, special needs children, possibly here in Israel, different charities. And I'm so excited about that. So now we're like, okay, how do we do more real estate deals? How do we get more people to help, including me, to help? And that gets me excited. So your goals will change. At first, I just wanted a little freedom. I didn't really think I'd make much money. I want to take a vacation. That was it. So whatever your goal is perfect. If you don't want to do it, great. If you want to do it, but your goals will change. And now that's what my goals are. And you need a goal. What's your goal this year for 5 years? Not only money, but lifestyle. That's something people don't talk about. I want to start a business and make 100,000 shekels or 1 million shekels, whatever, as an example. But really think about, we did this yesterday with Project X. What lifestyle do you want to have? What activity do you want to be doing a year from now, 5 years now? Where do you want to live? You can live anywhere. What kind of team do you want to have? What kind of deals do you want to be doing? What kind of lifestyle do you want to have? Not just the money.
Wow. So beside the end goal for the people, what an important mindset shift that people who are starting with real estate have to do?
Oh, by the way, you ask great questions. I'm going to call you the Israeli Oprah, if you don't mind. What mind shift? So here's the big deal. I was brought up, like most people, everybody's different, as an employee. I had dyslexia. I didn't do well in school. I didn't really graduate high school, I don't think. They threw me out. And my parents and grandparents, who were great people, said, Robert, go to school. Do well. you're not doing well. If you don't like it, suffer. Robert, get a job. If you don't like it, suffer. Work for somebody, do a good job, and if you work hard enough and suffer enough, maybe you'll make some money and can retire someday. That was it. And that's an employee consumer mindset. My parents taught me, nice Jewish parents, if you spend $1, you lose $1, right? Don't borrow money, it's bad. Don't start a business, it's dangerous. Be safe, get a good office job, right? Follow the program. To be an entrepreneur, if you do one house, you're an entrepreneur. If you build a real estate business, you're doing a podcast, you're an entrepreneur. That is a completely different mindset. What's the entrepreneur ask? I don't have money, I can't start, rich people are bad, business is bad, the economy is bad. No, that's a consumer employee mindset. The investor mindset is, what resources do I have? What am I good at? How can I solve these problems? That's all we do as an entrepreneur. I don't even use the word problem, except I just did. Sorry, slicha. Is what's the challenge? Whatever I don't have, I'll find someone that has it. I'll build a team. How can I get started? How can I get my first customer? How can I find the money? How can I find the deal? How can I grow my business? How can I do better every week, every day? It's not that I'm spending $1, investing 10,000, 50,000 shekels. What's my return on investment? It's not what I spend, it's what I'm going to make. More important than money is time. How do I spend my time? Most entrepreneurs like me waste most of their time on stupid stuff. Have you ever done that? You spend 3 hours on the internet, you're looking at the news, where you could have called, made a deal, made an offer, found a money partner. So we got to be focused. I read this big study, I don't remember where it was. It said the number one attribute for entrepreneurs to be successful, investor entrepreneur, is what are my resources? We don't think they're limited. And say, how can I best use them? Then what we teach in Project X, and I've taught is, and here's the big one, is you don't have to build a good team. By the way, if you have a bad team, you have a bad business. And follow the system. There's a system for everything. System that you learn to sports, system in the military, system to learn a language. There's a system to start a business, system to real estate, system to find a tenant, system to find a motivated seller, system to find money. Systematize your business like you're going to sell it. Whether you do one deal or 100 deals or no deals doesn't matter. And then if you want, build a team. So my team does most of the work and we split the profits up fairly and equally. And I don't really do that much. I used to do everything. That's a true entrepreneur, that investor that doesn't have to be in the business every minute, every day. And that's the hardest thing for beginners like me. I thought I had to do everything myself. I had to learn it. No, you don't. What kind of business, what kind of lifestyle do you want to have? And by the way, I think most businesses, the systems are simple, but it's the mindset that's the hardest part. It was for me to shift the mindset to the how am I going to solve these problems? How can I get started? How can I find the money, as opposed to all the negative mindset?
So when your students or mentees face some setbacks and challenges, what do you advise them to do to keep being motivated?
So this is a great question. And I was so lucky I had a mentor. And my mentor used to say, Robert, whenever you run into a challenge or problem or stress, don't worry. Everything's going to be okay. Call me. And literally I would call him. And I'll never forget what he would say all the time. He called me Bobby instead of Robert. He said, Bobby, it's going to be okay. I called Beseder Gemor. I'm like, no, it's not. I've lost the deal. The realtor didn't call me back. I can't find the money. I'm freaking out. I'm stressed. And he'd be like, Robert, relax. You're in business for 15 years, 10 years, 5 years. Everybody's different. Relax. It's going to be okay. And just him telling me that made me relax better and feel better. And then he'd give me solutions. So I tell people, we're not the only mentors, Project X. There's other ones, whoever it is, your uncle, your aunt, your rabbi, your somebody, whatever thing you're in, get help. Number 2 is, what's your focus? Every hour I ask myself this question: what's my focus? Is it the problem or the solution? I'm a big believer in the power of the word, so I don't even like the word problem. I'd say challenge, correct? Change the word. I'm not scared. I'm excited. I'm not worried. I'm passionate. The minute we change our thought and our word, everything changes. And if you can't change it, go find someone who will help you change it.
Oh, I agree with that so much. And from my experience in real estate, we have many challenges, we have many obstacles, not only in real estate, in life. And we all getting through them because if you're still alive, you probably got through the challenge.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you did it in the right way, in the best way, but you made it. And in real estate, it's not enough to get through the challenge. You need to get through difficult situations, difficult people, and to keeping all the good relationships with the people, with the partners, and also to feel that you didn't lose your boundaries for things.
Very smart.
For that, there's supposed to be some secret sauce that I'm still trying to figure it out for myself. And what can you share about that? How to keep the good relationships and also keep your boundaries?
So very good question. I love it. So I have a mentor named Marty. And by the way, I'm going to tell people, most people are scared of making a mistake, the relationships or what you just said. And I tell people in most of my speeches, I'm not perfect. I say, listen, all of you are scared of making a mistake. That's why you don't get started. I said, let me give you some good news. I make probably 5-10 mistakes an hour still. And I've written books and speak. I make a lot of mistakes. The mistakes aren't fatal. They're not going to put you out of business. And plus, if you have a system, a mentor, remember we saw it, get advice, get a second opinion from an expert.
I'm talking about the situations with, I don't know, with buyers or sellers or lawyers, that there is some problem with the relationship.
Yeah. So first of all, on relationships, that's what we mainly teach in projects, building relationships long-term. So I actually spoke about this last night. First of all, you got to find good people, usually referrals, because there's a lot of bad people, of course, who aren't professional.
Yeah, but there will come bad people, no matter how hard you try.
And by the way, good people can go bad and make mistakes.
Yeah.
I make mistakes. No, we're not perfect. Here's the thing. Number one is think long-term. Back to the beginning, we're not in real estate for a day, a week, an hour. We're in for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. The relationship. So I'm going to give you an example. I was a money lender. And I had lots of clients. Unfortunately, I only had one foreclosure when I was lending money. Terry Christensen, a guy, borrowed money from me a lot of years. One day, Terry called me up, said, Robert, I'm getting divorced. I can't make the payment. I'm failing. The deal's not good. I can't finish it. Is that bad? You know, I'm the lender. He's the borrower. And he goes, I can't pay you. It's horrible, right? And for a minute, I'm going, this is horrible. Then I said, wait a minute. What's my focus? Long-term good relationship. Look for the resources. Number one, we loaned 60-70% of value, so we knew that I could fix it and make money on the deal. Number two, long-term relationship. I said, Terry, you're having a bad time right now. You're getting divorced. You're under a lot of pressure. Fix your divorce. He signed the property over to me. I didn't have to foreclose. I got the property back. We fixed it. I can't remember. We sold it, rented it. We didn't lose money. We made some money. And he came back a year or two later, and we're back in business. So why? Focus on the result, focus on not the stress, not the problem, the solution. And he's not a bad guy. People do bad things or make mistakes. I do, of course.
You try to understand always the person in the other side, because I felt like I always tried to understand those people. And at some point, I was like a friar that they didn't have. Yeah, they totally took advantage.
Now,
so when do you know?
Let's go to the Israeli side. I don't want to be a friar. I love that expression. Now, I'll give you rentals, for example. We're very nice. We understand people. We ask what their challenge is, but we have a system. Got it? System for lending, system for renting. So my rent, in most cases, there's exception. Every city and state's different. Everybody does it different. Number one, our rent isn't late. You get a discount for paying it early on the 1st. Number two, on the 5th, where you got to know your local laws, we start eviction. Number three, if they can't pay the rent, we send them a list where they can maybe get the rent from the charity. The mayor has funds. The churches have funds to help them. But we're very strict. So yes, we're nice and we understand, but we have the boundaries. You know, I can't go to APM and say, listen, I want to pay you for the bread in 3 weeks. So with the money and with people, like children, you're nice. You love them. We love our contractors. We love our lawyers. We love our tenants. Long-term relationships. We have very strict rules. You don't have children?
No.
I have a son. You can't tell your kid, listen, if you don't do your homework, nothing's going to happen. If you don't do your homework, you don't finish by tomorrow, I'm going to take your iPhone away. And you have to do it. So in business, we're very nice. We trust people. We listen to them. Long-term relationships. We have very strict systems and rules. And every time I break those boundaries, like you said, I regret it. So, everything we do, we have a system on dealing with people. I'll give people 2 or 3 chances. My employees, if they make a mistake 3 times, they're out. And I tell them, be very clear up front. If you do the same thing, this thing again, you're done. Don't do it again. And we get everything in writing, so there's no confusion. Everything in writing. So people can't say, I didn't understand, I didn't hear it, I wasn't sure. So there's a balance. We're very nice, put relationships first, but we have checklist systems for everything, especially the contractors, the property managers they'll be great the first job or 2 and they're on time and on budget, which is a miracle. And then the second time they said it was 20,000, it's 50,000. They said they'll finish in 3 weeks and it's 4 months. And listen, I'm American, I can say it. A lot of Americans are very lazy. They're slow. So everybody we work with, here's an example. Everyone we work with, we put in writing, integrity pledge. With mentors, with me, for you, everybody. We'll return all phone calls, texts, and emails in 1 business day. Everybody. If you don't do it, the 3rd time you're done. You're out. Contractor, lawyer. We write it, they agree to it. That's a big thing because speed is important, correct? Mm-hmm. How's that? Then there's accountability. So at one point, if I didn't call my assistant back or I didn't call somebody back, a student back, which I don't think has ever happened, I'd have to pay her $3,000 to my assistant.
Oh.
So without accountability, there's no business. So with the kid, if you don't do your homework, we'll take the phone away. We got to take the phone away. So you have to have accountability. You got to feel something. Without accountability, there's no business. Everything in writing, system.
Yeah, you mentioned system all the time, but how can you keep being calm in the situations when you also feel like you're involved there emotionally? How can you just do it only systems? We are people.
So great thing. There is emotion, passion, but I'll tell people, when a tenant didn't pay me the rent, I used to get upset and yell, and I'd go to my family dinner on Shabbat and say, I can't believe Bertha at 201 Ramsey Street didn't pay the rent. It's $800. I can't. She did this. She lied. She cheated, and I'm upset. Well, who's losing? Me. And I tell them, my mentor said this, Robert, treat real estate and money like a fun game. Be strict. Have your systems, no emotion. Save your emotion for your kids, for your country, for your religion, for your music. Why would I stress myself out, get ulcers, heart attack, high blood pressure, Rivital, over a tenant? Rent's due on the 1st, late on the 5th, they don't pay, they're the loser. We're going to have a lawyer, we're going to get the money. We have a contract with the contractor. If he rips me off, there's going to be a lawsuit. We're going to get the money. We have system. We have insurance. So why would I get so upset about a tenant or money? You could. Everybody's different. We have a system. Just like a business. If I don't pay the credit card bill, they're going to send me nasty letters. They're going to send a lawyer, and they're going to get the money. Correct? The president of MasterCard is not going, oh, this guy didn't pay his credit card. I'm gonna get upset and yell and scream. It's business. And if you're so emotional, then maybe business isn't for you. I really mean that. I have no emotion. Now, with my own house or with my family, sure. But with the real estate and the business and the money, I'm a little passionate sometimes. I have no emotion. I follow the system.
Yeah, I love that advice, that when you have many systems, then you don't have to worry because you already have the system. You don't need to think about it too much.
It's your choice to do it easy, pay me the rent, finish the job on time. That's a better decision. And if you don't, now you have late fees and penalties and lawsuits and your credit's going to be hurt. You make the choice. The tenant makes the choice, not me. The contractor makes the choice. And by the way, in America, which is really nice, we have insurance for everything. I even have insurance sometimes for the rent that's not paid, insurance for the damage, insurance for the tornadoes, hurricanes, which I've had. The lawyers have insurance. I had a lawyer steal $300,000 once. Nothing happened. Why would I get upset? The insurance company put the money back.
Can you share about this story, for example? What happened?
I've had everything happen. I'll give you 2 crazy stories because we got to talk about disasters.
I love crazy
in
stories.
Israel. So one day, I don't watch TV. One of the smartest things I did in my life when my son was born, I threw the television out. And when I went to my parents' house or a hotel, I'd always watch TV. So one day I went to my parents' house. We had Channel 5 Action News, the news channel. And on the news it said Miss Campbell, I think was her name, in East Nashville, at this address, shot and killed her boyfriend in the middle of the day on the front of the apartment.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there with my mother and father, and I go, that apartment looks familiar. That lady looks familiar. That's my tenant. She just killed her boyfriend, shot him through the door. He's dead in the front yard in my apartment, my building. Is that a problem?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, it is for him. He's dead. First of all, in Tennessee, there's a law. I'm not a lawyer. Every state's different. That if you feel that your life's in danger, you can shoot somebody. So she shot him because he threatened her at the door and was going to attack her. I don't know all the details. They didn't even take her to jail. They didn't even take her gun. That's Tennessee at that time. So I call what am I going to do? I'm not the police, right? I'm not worried. In the beginning, I'd be worried, but my mentor said, you're not a policeman or fireman. You have insurance. What's going to happen? There's no problems, only solutions. So I called my maintenance man, Johnny, who'd worked with me for years. I said, what do we do? He goes, there's holes in the door. We'll fix the door. He said, by the way, I have a special, like a car that I don't even have to replace the door. It'll be like $80. I'll just fill the holes and paint them. He went over there and did that. There was no problem. But at the beginning, I'm thinking, oh my God, they killed somebody in my apartment. This is horrible. Who would have thought that? Now, I have another problem. I don't remember the exact numbers. I'm going off memory as an example. I was buying a house for about $280,000, almost $300,000, and it was worth more. I was going to fix it or sell it, I think. And I went to my money partner, and he put the $280,000 in the lawyer's account in America. And I've used this lawyer for years. Once again, I'm at my parents' house. We're having a nice dinner. We're watching the television. And on the news, the lawyer, who was like 60 years old, who was married, very good person in the community, very good lawyer, doing real estate closings. I worked for years. He went with his secretary. They stole all the money from the law firm, millions of dollars, not just my money. Another builder I knew had like $2 million ready to sell houses or buy houses, took millions of dollars and went out of the country. Is that a problem?
Yes.
Well, not really.
There was an insurance.
So I'm freaking out, going, oh my God, I'm going to owe my friend $280,000. The money's stolen. I don't have the money. And I actually went to law school. I'm not a practicing lawyer, and I worked in title. And I was starting to panic a little bit. I'm like, this is not good. Where's the money going to come from? I'm going to owe $280,000. I can't close. This is horrible. He stole the money. They'll never get it back. He went offshore. The next day, Chicago Title Insurance Company, the big insurance company that insures the lawyers, called me and said, Robert, we understand you were going to close something with this company. I said, yeah, where's my money? They go, we don't know. He stole it. I go, this is not good. He goes, we're the insurance company. We have to pay the money. So we can't close today like you were supposed to. We're going to close next Monday. Is that okay? And we'll put the money back. I said, wow. I said, I teach people real estate now. Tell me, what else is this? Does this happen a lot? He goes, it happens more than you think. He goes, but relax. The National Bar Association, all the lawyers in Nashville have an insurance that if a lawyer steals money, they put the money back. The state lawyers have a program. The insurance company has a program. They're like 3 programs to protect the money. And I'm like, nothing happened. Instead of closing on a Wednesday, we closed on Monday, going off memory. The insurance company put the money back, and nothing happened. Unfortunately, he ran off with his 28-year-old beautiful secretary. They arrested him in Jamaica. They sent him back to America, and he went to jail. And now he's divorced.
What a story.
So who has the problem? So
do you recommend using insurances on everything we can?
I don't recommend it. It's the way we do business in America. You never buy a property ever, never, ever, ever, never without title insurance. So when you have the title insurance, that's the insurance. If anything happens, they pay it. When you buy a house in America, you have regular insurance, like in Israel, fire, flooding, if someone trips on the property, if there's a lawsuit. And, every insurance company is different, but, you're protected for everything. There's companies now that will insure the rent. So if you have a bunch of apartments or properties, again, every company's different. You pay a little bit of money, and if Bertha doesn't pay the rent, the insurance company pays the rent. So why not? By the way, a lot of our properties, every deal's different, every insurance company is different, we get the renter to get renter's insurance. So if something happens to the renter, they're covered with their insurance generally. And there's also what's called home warranties, because as a landlord or landlady, the biggest expense you have is repairs. The tenant moves out, the air conditioner's broken, the plumbing's broken, you don't expect it, and all of a sudden you're spending $4,000 or $5,000 plus, as an example, and there's your profit, correct? Well, sometimes every state's different. You can get what's called a home warranty, like when you buy a new home. And a company, you give them a couple $100, $50 a month. I don't know, the prices change. These are just examples. And they're not perfect, but they'll cover 90 to 100% of those problems. The roof, the plumbing, the electricity. A lot of people don't know about that. So as a landlord, instead of having to shell out $5,000 or $8,000, which is a bad month, horrible, ruins the year, there might be insurance for that. And it smooths things out. So I think it's great. It makes things very easy, and all these problems or whatever. And you can look up Robert Shemin Wikipedia tornadoes. I had actually, it's like most press, it's incorrect on the internet. It said I had 14 properties damaged by tornadoes in Nashville. I think it was more like 40 or 50. Millions of dollars of damage. Is that bad? Horrible. Thank God, Baruch Hashem, as we say in Nashville, nobody was hurt. I had roofs caved in, trees. And the insurance company didn't give me money. I had to make repairs, and I can't remember the exact details, but after about 6 months, 4 months, I'd spent, I think, $300,000-$400,000. I fixed everything, and the insurance company offered me like $400,000. I said, that's great. My mentor, member experts, said, Robert, never settle with an insurance company without an expert. Get a lawyer or what's called an insurance adjuster. I hired them. They said, we only take 20% of extra we get you. There's no cost. And they raised my settlement to, I think, millions of dollars because the insurance company wrote the contract. So what was one of the worst things that happened to me, I had a lot of properties destroyed by tornadoes, ended up being some of the most money I ever made in real estate. So most fears are irrational. These are problems. I just talked about someone getting shot, tornadoes, a hurricane, the lawyer stealing the money. And in the end, what happened? It was fixed.
Yeah.
So most fears are irrational, in business. You have insurance. And the big mistakes I've made, I have a book called The 75 Mistakes, I Made Them All, is you learn and you don't do them again. And that's how you get better and smarter. And none of the mistakes were fatal. Still in business.
Oh, thank you for sharing those amazing stories.
I have lots more disasters.
And now a little bit different question. I think people probably ask you this all the time, but back then, all those deals could be much more profitable than it is now. And for now, as I see, the price is just getting up and up and up, and the profits are smaller. Do you think the situation in the real estate and how can you profit from that is being different throughout the years?
I've been hearing that every day since 1994 or 5. By the way, there's exceptions. These are examples. Your experience can be completely different. You can't rely on my experiences. I say that in every speech pretty much. A guy named Joey, relationship, who's a wholesaler, found a deal in Grand Rapids, Michigan last 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks ago. We have it under contract for $650,000, I believe. I'm going off memory. I could be mistaken. And the rents are $35,000 a month. It's one of the best cash flow deals I've seen in a long time. My partner, associate Chad McCall, who's one of my U.S. coaches, we did a live event in New Jersey in projects in Haredi Orthodox in Lakewood. And he got on listsource.com, which is a list. He looked for triple motivation. It's a public list. Someone who's getting foreclosed on, didn't pay their taxes. He found a house. I'm trying to remember where it was, in Florida, which is one of the hottest markets. And the house, I'm going off memory, was worth $280,000. He got under contract for about $50,000. Is that a good deal? Mm. So you have to know, which most people don't and most people will never do.
But right now, the information is spread everywhere. People know it.
Well, why did Chad get that deal and why did we get this deal? Because most people are not doing it. There are people doing it for sure. I'm telling you, we have very certain niches. It's not easy. It's work. Most people never do it. You hear my words? But I'm telling you, we find great deals a lot. And a lot of our students find great deals a lot. But they're looking very hard and they're looking at a lot and they're digging and they're using systems. So I don't know a lot of people, I'm sure there are, that use that triple motivation system. Not just one motivation. The house was in foreclosure. There was a title problem. And this is all public. And we contacted him and he contacted Chad. Now, it was a very quick deal, so we had to move very fast. My people, Joey, sends out a lot of advertising direct to owners, saying if you need to sell, make an offer, if your place needs work, and they're sending out a lot of marketing. And this guy called in Grand Rapids, Michigan, said, listen, I'm 70 or 80 years old, I'm ill, I can't work, my kids don't want the property, it's an assisted living, which is a unique type of property. It's rented fully for, I think, $35,000, $40,000 a month almost. I'm going off memory, so the numbers aren't perfect. And you can buy it for $650,000. There's a possibility the buyer or us could get a loan for $5,000 a month, maybe $6,000 a month with a down payment, and the cash flow's over $30,000 a month. We have all the repairs and expenses. They're about 30%. That's crazy cash flow. Our students are looking hard. Not all of them are finding deals, of course. Not all of them are doing the system. But the ones that are doing consistently, we have some students who've done over 100 deals last year. They're doing many deals right now. But what are they doing? They're working hard. They're looking. They're digging, which most people will never do.
Do you think today is harder or easier to find those good deals?
So first of all, I don't know. Everybody's different. Every deal's different. Most people do nothing and make nothing. So
for your experience.
But I have to say this legally. Most people do nothing and make nothing, so it's impossible for them.
Yeah, that's
now,
for sure.
I will say this. First of all, every market's different. Every house is different. Now I'll give my experience, which may not be yours. Number one, 3 years ago when interest rates were 3, 4, 5% for homeowners and investors were getting loans at 70, 80, 90%, some of them at a 6, 7, 8%, the interest rates were low. Everybody was buying. The market was super hot. There wasn't a lot of supply. It was very competitive. We found deals, but it was a lot harder than it is now. Now, in certain markets, now interest rates again changed yesterday, right? Day before, whatever. A lot of people left the business. I find in my experience, the wholesalers and realtors in certain markets still very hot, still very competitive. But now it's softening up a little bit, and it's a little bit easier. By the way, my people tell me I can't verify it. There might be almost 1 million foreclosures coming. So some of our people work in foreclosures, and they're finding amazing deals again. I work more in owner financing from motivated, tired landlords and landladies. I call for rent ads. I work with special wholesalers who find deals that are easy to work with. Not all are. There's very difficult ones. And I find that we always can find an opportunity or deal if we look hard enough and work hard enough, which most people won't do. They call 5 people and quit, or they call 7 or 10 realtors. So we have over 53 ways to find highly motivated sellers, and they've always worked, in my opinion, and always will work.
Because in Israel, I know different real estate entrepreneurs, and they're all saying that you have to be more creative in the way you find deals, and it is harder than before.
We've always been creative, and we've always been able to find deals, you know. And every time I think there's no more...
So do you adjust the system each time?
Oh, my business is completely different this year than it was 7, 10 years ago. Absolutely. I mean, when I started, there was no internet. It was dial-up, and we did newspaper ads, people who rent. But a lot of the things I do are the same. Everybody does it differently. My choice is I find most of my deals from wholesalers who I've developed a relationship with. Some wholesalers have bad deals. Some have no deals. Some have 10, 20, 30 deals a month, and they're finding deals every month. So there's no problem. They have plenty of deals, the right ones. Number 2, I call 30, 40, 50, 60 plus for rent ads, looking for tired landlords and landladies. And in our script, we do everything with checklist script. I ask, and your experience could be different. When I call, I say, hey, your place is for rent. Would you like to sell? They always go, what are you talking about? You're calling a rent ad. I say, yeah, I'm an investor. I'm always up front. I'd like, do you know anybody that might want to sell? And every once in a while, not often, they say, I'm tired. I want to sell this. It's empty. I'm not getting, they're motivated. The price is empty if it's a rent, needs work. They have other ones. They know of other ones sometimes. Not everybody, but some might say that I will sell below market. Some of them will say, I'll do owner financing because they like monthly income. So they'll even finance some of them. Some of them know other landlords that are tired that want to sell. And in my script, I say, if other investors called you on the rent ad and asked to buy your property, in my experience, most of them say no. No one else is doing it. People are lazy. You know, there's no new secret way. Chad, who works with me, he has, I think, 80 deals right now that he said. I haven't verified it, but he says it, and I saw him do one the other day at like 60, 70% below market, which is very rare. Most people would never do that. So how come there's some, and by the way, right now there's Constructive Genius. We're having a wholesale convention, and all the wholesalers are saying we got tons of deals. We're doing lots of deals. And then if you talk to other people, they say there's no deals. By the way, I'm here in Israel right now. When I bought my ticket to Israel, guess what everyone in America and Colombia told me? Everybody.
What?
Don't go. You're going to die. They're going to blow you up in the airport. They called me yesterday, Robert, come home. It's too dangerous. You're going to die. Look, this is the phone conversation. By the way, I'm not dead. By the way, I'm in Herzliya Patuch. I feel like last night the restaurant was packed. The people were having shots. They were so sweet. The beach has people on it. We had we were sold out with Project X. There's some Army people there, and I know there's a lot going on. And I'm having a great time. The people here are amazing. Everything's, I know there's problems. Who am I listening to? Correct? They've never been to Israel. I come all the time. I've never had a problem here.
Right.
I live in Medellin, Colombia. Guess what all my friends and family say?
Dangerous there.
Don't go to Colombia. So I hear that all the time. Don't do real estate. There's no more deals. Interest rates are too low. Interest rates are too high. The government's too bad. The government's too good. The economy's too bad. I've been hearing that every day for 30 years. And guess what? 20 years from now, I'm sure I'll hear it again. So the question is what are you doing? How are you looking for deals? How am I looking for deals? Make sense?
Totally.
I know that, and I do it most Sundays, if I call enough wholesalers, enough motivated seller ads, there's still motivated sellers, I will probably find a potential deal. And if I do nothing, I won't find anything.
And now I have a question. You created really inspiring businesses in many, many different countries.
Thank you.
How do you keeping it like in the how do I say it? You have all the systems, to be in control, to understand the different wholesalers, to see the quality is the quality you want it to be in so many different countries, different languages, different people, agents that you don't already even know. How do you do it?
Yeah. So by the way, great question. It's an entrepreneur's eternal dilemma. So first of all, I've made mistakes. I've had ups and downs like anybody. I'm not perfect. However, I'm in shock sometimes. So I'll give you an example, Israel. I came here, and I'll tell you what happened. Yesterday, we launched a new game for real estate. I'm doing teaching here to our community. And I think we have somewhere, can't verify, about 3,000 successful Israeli students who've been to our program. And tomorrow, the next, I'll speak to hundreds of them at our community meeting. And we have, I think, almost 20 mentors. We have a contract mentor in Project X. Now, how did all that happen? I look at it sometimes and go, how did this happen? Now, how did I do that? First of all, I didn't do it. So write this down, team system. I used to do everything myself. I had a small business. I was very stressed out. I made some money, but I was doing everything myself. Then at one point, I decided I want to grow a better business. Not bigger, better. You don't have to be big. I'm going to build a system and get a good team, and the team's going to do most of the work. You can get a virtual assistant. You can hire people to find deals. They get part of the profits. You can build a management company. I built a manager with a great manager. And now, instead of managing me, which is not fun, I can barely, I'm now managing a team and a system. And a lot of cases, the team is better than me. So we have a huge team over here in Israel. We had a team in Africa and Russia. We had a Spanish team, which had its ups and downs. We had a U.S. team. I started out in Nashville, Tennessee. I found a realtor, a contractor, a manager in Nashville. I had the system in place and it started working. Then I said, I'm going to build a team in Memphis, Tennessee. How does Marriott or Google, we're sitting here in a Google thing. Google is based out of California, I think. How do they have business all over the world? Most Israelis work for multinational companies, right? High tech, Apple, Waze, whatever. They had a business plan. They started someplace. They perfected their system. They made mistakes. They stuck with it, which most people won't, and they built a team. Then they built a team in Florida. Then they built a team in London. Then they built a team in Tel Aviv. Then they built a whatever system team. Now, if you have a bad team, you got a bad business. So what I do now is I have a team, and I check on the team. And now I'm doing more business internationally. And actually, most times I'm working less. I'm working smarter. And I got a great team. Matter of fact, a lot of times the team says, Robert, could you please leave? You're bothering us. Let us do our job.
What is your goal now? Do you plan to scale to even more countries?
Oh, it's funny. I learned this from Bill Gates. I take a 1, 2, 3 day, what I call business vacation, where I disappear either with a mentor or by myself and just think, what are my new goals? What are my new challenges? What do I want to do? I do that all the time and completely rebuild my business. It's funny you asked me this week. There are no accidents. Everything happens for a good reason. I believe that. I hope you do too. And this week, I literally met with my mentor, took a day when I'm flying, and reshaped my whole future. I just committed to writing 2 new books. I just committed to do more real estate. I just committed to starting some other new businesses, and I'm very excited about it. I feel
a
like
new TV show.
Possible a new TV show, new podcast. And because for a while I was so involved in this and fixing problems and challenges, which is all good. I'm not complaining. I've retired 3 times and say, we're going to go back. And what I'm going to do is judge a lot of it on giving back, on helping people. So my new podcast will just be about helping people. Just like this, people call in, whatever challenge they have, I'll try to fix it and just give back. I'll do more speaking, probably for free, just giving back. Makes sense? And then we're organizing a big group of entrepreneurs to get them to do charity. The 2 new businesses I started, which will hopefully make a lot of money, we're going to take a big part of the profits and let the people pick which charity they want to give to. As long as it helps somebody in a good charity, then the company will put the money for the charity. We do that with Project X here in Israel too. And that's what I'm most excited about. How many more people can we help? How much more charity can we give? And I feel like I'm just starting. Even though I've done all these things in the past and done this and done that, I just feel like I'm just beginning. Every day, Baruch Hashem, is a new chance, a new beginning.
Wow, that's so inspiring.
Yeah. Today, I'm going to start on my new book.
Wow.
I'm excited. Start on my new business.
What is the topic of the new book?
So I have 2 books that I want to start. One is my big book I wrote, I can't remember, 15, 20 years ago, called How Come That Idiot's Rich and I'm Not? I want to do a new updated version, like part 2.
Nice.
0.6.
I love it.
And I'm going to call it How Come That Idiot's Really Rich? And then I was asked by a company, a friend of mine, and this is crazy. I wrote 20 years ago about virtual real estate. By the way, it's very risky. I thought it was crazy. Who would pay rent on a virtual world? Makes no sense, right? Mm-hmm. You know, the virtual reality.
You talk about the NFT and VR and all of
Absolutely. And I'm not an expert in crypto, but I say, it's a challenge. And I didn't realize it's billions of dollars. And so I want to become an expert and write a book and help people to understand pros, cons, risk of the virtual world. There's people out there doing it and companies, but there's not like really a lot of great information. But I know people that are paying rent for houses and commercial real estate on the virtual reality world. Doesn't make any real sense. I know it's risky, but it's crazy. So that is kind of the new frontier.
Amazing. I can say that from the side, when I'm hearing all the things you're telling here in this episode, is the key, one of the keys to the success is keep being innovative, thinking about how to innovate the systems, how to write a book about a new topic, what is going on the world, to adjust yourself all the time.
And by the way, you need to focus on do one thing and one thing well, but what I do is system team, so I'll block time. So I'll still spend X amount of hours on my regular real estate business, X amount of hours on my other business, X amount of hours on my charities. So these are like, I have extra time that I make and I'll just spend. So you can waste time or make time. Don't ever say you don't have the time. Say it's not a priority. So this afternoon, instead of watching TV or sitting getting a suntan, I'll do both. I'll go sit by the pool, get some sun, and I'll start writing my book. And I can't type, by the way, I record it. So I'll sit there in the sun and record the book. So I'll do both. So 2 things. Don't say I have to do this or that. Do both if you can. I want to travel or work. I'm traveling and working. I love it. Number 2 is don't ever say I don't have the time. Say it's not a priority. So I'm going to spend an hour or 2 every morning, do the new book.
Do you have any productivity hacks or rituals that help you being productive?
Yes, I'm a massive student and teacher of time management because I waste most of my time. And I really mean this. Many years ago, I think CNN or Fox interviewed me and said, Robert, you're one of the more successful residential real estate investors in America. What's the secret? And I told them, I said, I think the secret is, and that's what they think, not me, about the success, is I'm only wasting 70% of my time, not 90. That's the difference. The best athlete or most successful just makes little adjustments. So here it is. A, activities. I block my day most days. I'm not perfect. I don't follow the system all the time. I make mistakes. Into A, activities. So what do most people do? They stay busy and they get nothing done. Have you ever felt like that? You're like the week goes by, I'm like, what did I do? I was busy, but I didn't get it done. So what's the solution? The best one I found is block your activities. What's an A activity? That's going to get my real estate business or whatever your business is in the most success, the most momentum. For instance, finding a great deal, way below market or that cash flows. That's an A activity. Finding a new money partner, a new lender, a new bank, or learning some amazing technique that's going to make you a ton of money. That's an A activity. So spend most of your time on the A activity. Do your A activities first. Make them a priority. What's a B activity? It's a good activity that'll bring your company your success, but not an A. I've got to maybe talk to a potential deal, maybe learn something. Most of us spend 70-80% of our time on our C activities, busy work that you have to do. Email, pay the bills, look on the internet, but it's not really making you any money. It's not moving you forward. So block your time. Make sure you and your team are spending most of your time on the A activities. And then we don't do this every week, but most weeks I get my whole team, including me, because we're entrepreneurs. When you have a boss, your boss says, listen, come to work at 8 a.m. in Israel, stay till 8 p.m. and get all this done. If you don't get it done, what happens? They fire you. Right? If your boss comes, what did you do yesterday? Nothing. Or I was on the internet looking at Instagram. You're fired, correct? Now that we work for ourselves, who holds us accountable? Nobody. We need accountability. So get your mentor, your friend, every usually Friday, sometimes on Monday, because I'm trying to do it this Monday instead of Friday, Shabbat. I get my team. We spend 20 minutes, block time. We give 20 minutes. That's it. Quick. Yalla. Not 2 hours. We have a meeting. I hate long meetings. If you give people 2 hours, they take 2 hours. Give them 20 minutes. And we say, what'd you do last week? What's your time looking like? We use Clock.in, which is an Israeli application, Clock.in. We manage all of our contractors' time. It tells you where they are, GPS. They have to admit to it. It's amazing. And we look. What'd you do last week? Well, nothing. Did you get any deals? No. Did you make enough calls? No. How many calls did you make? Would you hire or fire yourself last week? And we hold ourselves accountable. So block your time, track your time of all your people, including yourself. And there's got to be accountability.
Yeah, that's great. And do you have any morning ritual or evening ritual or weekly ritual?
Yes. So you'll be shocked. So one of my great mentors, Reb Chaim Daskal, who was a great rabbi, a Reb here in Israel and America. He was my personal mentor. He passed away, unfortunately. May he rest in peace. And he said, Robert, you need to pray more. I said, I don't have time to pray and meditate. I'm too busy. I'm running these businesses, these charities. He goes, make the time. Make it a priority. So when I get up, one of the first things I do is you got to take care of yourself. I usually have 1 hour of exercise. I have a trainer. In Colombia, you get a personal trainer for $100 a month, a professional. It's amazing.
Wow.
I live like a queen there. And he works me really hard. And we're physical beings. You got to do that. Number two, I'll block 20 minutes to an hour to meditate, pray. I read the Rambam's letter every day. I do some different nice Jewish prayers. Gratitude, grateful, thank God I got up, thank God whatever. Got to start with gratitude. That makes you rich. Number three, I usually spend 30 minutes to an hour studying, learning something.
It can be anything or some specific topics.
Whatever, something's going to help me, psychology, personal development, positivity, maybe some new business. And by the way, I usually get up at 4:30 to 5, so now it's 6, 7, 8 o'clock. And then I'll block 2 hours and do my most important business if people are awake. The big call, the big deal, the big paperwork, the A activities. So by noon, I've already probably made 30, 40, 50 phone calls, contacts with my team, deals, and I take a nice break for lunch. I usually go for a walk, do a little exercise, take a mental break, and then I get back to it usually till 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night because I love it by choice, doing charity work, making calls. But my mentor told me something very interesting. He said 5 minutes is a long time. So to me, 5 minutes, I can call a money partner, call on a deal, call a wholesaler. So I'll block my time, and I'm very efficient. And then every day, the next day, I review what did I do, what could I do better, how could I be nicer, how could I be more helpful, more positive. And the other thing I've learned, which I'm not perfect at, is do the hard ones first. tackle the big problems first. Don't put them off. So in The Godfather, he said that the Godfather and the mafia wants good news fast and bad news faster. So we have things happen, problems with investors, with deals, with money, people, and I go to those first, get them out of the way. Those are, priorities.
Perfect. Thank you so much. It was such an inspiring conversation. And I'm so grateful that you come here today. And it was a huge honor. And do you have some tip for the people?
Yes. The most important thing is, I'm a nice Jewish boy. And the minute somebody says real estate, money, investing, mortgages, borrowing, markets, we get nervous, stressed out. Everybody does. It's normal. It's okay. My mentor said something the first day that I didn't understand for years. He said, Robert, money, business, real estate, make it a fun game. When you play a game, you're passionate, but you don't get all stressed out. If the other person wins or you lose a little bit, you don't freak out. It's a game. Enjoy the process. Have fun with it. And there's many times where I got too involved, stressed, attached to the money, attached to the problems emotionally, physically, and it wasn't good. Life, death, health, family, those are very serious things, correct? Mm-hmm. Business and money, it's serious. We don't want to lose. We don't want to lose other people's money. There's ups and downs. I've done everything wrong and right. Enjoy the process. Why not? Life's short. It's going to go. And most entrepreneurs say the best part was the beginning when it was really crazy and it was stressful and you're struggling and they miss it. Because after a while, it gets to be routine, the same. So the main thing is take care of yourself, focus on relationships, enjoy the process, have fun with it. Don't take yourself too seriously. Don't take the business too seriously. Most of the really successful people I know, there's exceptions, have a good attitude. They enjoy the people. They enjoy whatever. And think long-term relationships. Focus on the result. If something good or bad happens, you're not just in real estate for a week or a month. You're in it for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And have fun. Keep smiling. And most importantly, stay safe, stay happy.
Wow, it's such a great attitude. Thank you so much for coming. It was super inspiring again.
Yeah. And by the way, bevakasha, I never say goodbye. I always say see you soon or litarot. Right?
See you soon in Sunday.
Yeah, and I hope, that'd be great. And I hope
in the
people, if it's okay, we can invite them to the next Project X workshop. We'll be back
Sure, I will
soon.
add also all the URLs.
Yep. And possibly we need to check. Nothing's promised. Maybe we can give people some free courses, if that helps.
We will add it, of course.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So thank you for being here, and congratulations for you for listening to this. That means you're open, you're learning. That's the most important thing, education. And congratulations on you started, which is the most important thing in business, podcast, and you're an investor. That's the get started.
Thank you so much, and בהצלחה with all your new books and your projects, and I'm waiting forward to it, to see it.
Now I told everyone I got to do it, so now I got to really do it.
Yeah, now you have to do it.
Accountability. I love it. So keep
Definitely.
smiling, keep laughing, and stay well, and we'll see you soon in Israel.
Thank you so much.
Litarot.
אל תשכחו להסתכל בתיאור של הפרק, סיכוי טוב שמחכות לכם שם מתנות והטבות בלעדיות. כדי לשמוע על הזדמנויות מיוחדות, הצטרפו לקהילה הסגורה בוואטסאפ ובטלגרם. וכדי ליהנות מיתרון לא הוגן עבורכם עם אבק הכוכבים בתחום הנדל"ן, תירשמו לערוץ ותישארו בעניינים. זה הזמן להגיב ולשאול את כל מה שרציתם, נתראה בפרק הבא.